The entire love and hip-hop universe is being rocked to its foundation by Mena's unexpected revelation, which has left fans completely stunned. When it comes to covert affairs and behind-the-scenes hookups, you may believe you've heard it all. However, nothing, and we mean nothing, comes near this. Erika shouted the words no one ever imagined in an exclusive tear-filled live video that has since gone viral. She looked straight into the camera, her lips quivering and her eyes burning. Mendeecees and I had a covert relationship. Instantly, the internet took off. However, that wasn't the finish. Unfortunately, Erika wasn't finished, since her next revelation didn't just upend the status quo. It turned it upside down. Erika claims that in addition to their covert romance, she was also the mother of his kid, a child nobody was aware of, a kid confined to the darkness. The drama only got worse as fans tried to piece together the timeline and celebrities started to comment with cryptic posts. Was Yandy truly unaware of everything this? Was a whole second family concealed by Mendeecees? And why did Erika decide to reveal the truth at this time? The internet went into a frenzy when Mena revealed the shocking information during her live feed. Fans who had been paying close attention to Yandandi, Mendeecees, and Erika's every action were stunned and trying to process what they had just heard. Like an explosion that had been subtly accumulating over years, Erika's remarks reverberated. Mendeecees and I were romantically involved. Erika's voice was shaking as she confessed, "I'm no longer disguising the fact that we had a baby and were sincere. Enough is enough. Nobody anticipated this. Nobody anticipated it." Everything from the previous seasons of Love and Hip Hop, however, began to make sense all of a sudden. The little things, strange glances, late-night phone conversations, and the unseen tension had all been warning indicators. Now, however, everything was becoming clear. Furthermore, the reality was much messier than anyone had anticipated. This was no typical drama. This was more than a straightforward conflict between two women over a man. The whole foundation of reality television was rocked by the exposure of secrets, betrayal, and hidden lives. Long before this contentious live webcast, Erika's journey started. She claims that the relationship with Mendeecees began years ago, during the lowest point of his sporadic relationship with Yandandi. Mendeecees, who had always been the center of attention, took comfort in Erika. It all started innocently as two people finding solace in each other's company during turbulent times, she said. "It wasn't planned," Erika said in a quiet but firm voice. "We simply clicked. Only friends were to be involved. We were soon more than that, though, as one thing led to another. In the shadows, the connection had begun. Conversations on the phone, texts, and late-night rendezvous that were never captured on camera. Mendeecees was dealing with legal issues that threatened to destroy his world, and Erika was still in pain from her own breakup with Safari. They discovered one another when they were both at their most vulnerable. It wasn't simply casual discussions, though. The situation worsened over time. The frequency of the meetings increased. According to Erika, Mendeecees told her that their relationship with Yandandi was all but ended. "I'm done with her. It's just for the cameras now," he would frequently say. Erika acknowledged that she didn't first want to trust him, but he persuaded her that his relationship with Yandi had only been a public facade. "You and me, we're real." He even pledged to her that he would end the relationship and make a fresh start so they could be together. With tears in her eyes, Erika added, "I wanted to believe him. At the time, he was all I needed. He declared his love for me. I felt like I was the one because of him. He was destined for her. However, it was all false. Or, anyhow, that's what Erika currently thinks. They carried on their affair behind closed doors. According to Erika, there were even travels and intimate moments that were kept a secret from Yandandi, the public, and everyone else. However, things changed when Erika learned she was expecting a child. She didn't know what to do and was scared. The ramifications were more of a source of worry than simply being pregnant. When she told Mendeecees, she was astonished by his reaction, even if she didn't want to be part of the drama. She disclosed that he didn't freak out. He was unable to go. In fact, he stayed. Everything appeared to be going well for a brief while when he assured me, "Don't worry, we'll make this work." Mendeecees was there to encourage her and even accompanied her to doctor's appointments because she thought the man she had fallen for was finally taking action. Erica felt as though she was living in a bubble. However, the bubble burst when she spotted Yandi and Mendeecees together on the red carpet, grinning for the cameras as if nothing had occurred. It crushed Erica's heart. The chilly fact that he was acting as if she didn't exist caught her off guard. He simply forgot about us. With bitterness, Erica said. He returned to Yandandi as if nothing had occurred, as if I were non-existent. As if our child had never been born. At that point, Erica started to doubt everything. Why would Mendeecees return to Yandi without hesitation if he had truly cared for her and been honest? According to Erica, the betrayal hurt. It was more than simply the man she loved, though. It had to do with the family he and Yandi had created. Because Yandandi had been a part of their life, it stung far more, regardless of whether she was aware of it or not. However, Yandi's apparent handling of the matter only served to exacerbate matters. Erica said Yandandi was aware. Yandandi has always had a hunch that something was happening. She also confronted Erica one day. However, nobody anticipated the clash. She arrived at my house. Erica remembered that the memory made her voice tremble. She didn't scream or shout. She just answered, "I knew," after giving me a quick glance. Yandi's response was not one of surprise. "You think I didn't see it? You think I didn't know what he was doing? I always knew." It was more like a chilly, resigned admission of something that had long been brewing. Yandi's voice was so calm that Erica was taken aback. "I didn't make her angry. She was upset with him," Erica murmured, dabbing at her eyes. Erica claims that Yandi left the altercation after promising not to disclose it to the public. "I knew he would do this, but you. I didn't think you would be part of this mess," she told me. For years, the secret remained concealed behind layers of family photos, social media posts, and staged drama for hip-hop and love. If this gets out, it will destroy everything. It will destroy him, destroy the kids, destroy everything we've built, she claimed. Erica and Yandandi both remained silent. In front of the cameras, both women pretended that nothing was wrong while they performed their parts. But in private, they were both clinging to an agonizing reality. Mendeecees was present when Erica's kid was delivered, but it was short-lived. Erica claims that he arrived at the hospital, held the infant for a little while, kissed his forehead, and then vanished as fast as he had come. "I didn't hear from him for weeks," Erica remarked. "I also realized that I knew him wasn't returning." Years later, however, with everything in the open, Erica no longer felt fear. For so long, she had maintained the secret. She wanted the world to know the truth immediately, though. He cannot simply go about his life as if nothing had occurred. Erica vehemently declared, "I'm not hiding anymore. We are not hiding anymore." Her remarks caused a stir in the media and sparked discussions, theories and responses from both celebrities and fans. However, one question persisted as the storm continued to rage. What would Yandi say? As they waited for her to speak, fans were tense. They sought clarification. They desired lucidity. Was Yandi as much of a victim as Erica, everyone wondered? Or does the story have more to it than anyone could possibly understand? But silence in place of responses. It was a deafening hush. And there's still some mystery there. In this whole situation, where is Yandi? What will she do next? Furthermore, is this drama really over? Or is a larger storm just getting started? The world watched in anticipation of Mendeecees' move as the controversy unfolded. The reason for his silence was being questioned by fans, celebrities, and even his closest friends. His quiet was deafening. It was merely stoking the flames and spoke a lot. Erica, meanwhile, was not hiding anything. In that live stream, she had revealed the truth about the baby that no one had known about, the betrayal, and the secret relationship. But there were still more questions. More was desired. They wanted explanations from Yandandi, Mendeecees, and all those involved. The whole business was stunned by the shocking revelation. But what would this drama's next turn be? It wasn't merely retaliation when Erica went public. She had no intention of ruining anyone's life. It was about finally claiming her truth, she said. She felt as though she was a part of a deception that she had not even agreed to, and she had endured the suffering in silence for years. She had been wronged by more than just Mendeecees. The system as a whole was responsible for their affair's concealment, the lies that persisted, and the preservation of the family's reputation, while Erica and their kid went unnoticed. Some afterthought. I can't keep living like I'm some side piece. During her tearful live stream, Erica had declared, I'm not a villain. I was just trying to protect myself and my child, but I'm not going to protect his lies anymore. That became the turning point. Erica's courage in speaking up caused a stir in the reality TV community. All of her supporters and admirers came together to support her. They showered social media with supportive remarks, praising her for being honest and courageous. However, Yandhi fans remained silent as Erica's crowd stood by her side. The question persisted while they waited. What was Yandhi going to do next? The silence was eventually broken by Mendeecees Harris herself, the day after Erica's livestream. Mendeecees has a reputation for being cool-headed and collected. This was not an unusual, impetuous reaction for her. She had purpose when she spoke. However, nobody was prepared for the words this time. Mendeecees made a mysterious and eerie statement in a post on her Instagram. She made no mention of the baby, the affair, or even Men's. Instead of writing, there's always more to the story than what's being told. But the truth will come out when it's meant to. The only thing that matters now is my family and the future we're building. Fans were taken aback. What was meant by this? Was this an oblique remark meant to sidestep the charges, or was she verifying Erica's claims? Although nobody knew, it was obvious that Mendeecees would not give up easily. Her enigmatic remarks simply sparked additional inquiries. Mike's quiet stayed thieving as the days passed. He had not yet responded to any of the charges. Some conjectured that he held off on making his comments until after the situation had subsided. Others thought he was doing everything in his power to preserve his family's reputation. However, the more he remained silent, the more people started to question his sincerity. Then a new twist appeared just when the pressure felt too much to bear. A confidential chat that purportedly occurred between Mendeecees and Mendeecees months prior was released by an unnamed individual who was close to the pair. The footage, which was shared on a number of gossip websites, showed Mendeecees and guys fighting over the child in the affair. I never meant for it to go this far. I made a mistake, but it's done now. I don't want to lose, Mendeecees can be heard saying on the recording. Everything as a result of it. Mendeecees' answer was calculating and icy. There's no turning back from this. I know you did what you did, but I'm not playing these games with you anymore. The leak sent shockwaves through social media. You already lost me, and you've lost her too. Previously uncertain fans now had indisputable evidence that Mendeecees had known about the situation from the beginning. It was more than a little error. It has been a continuous affair for far longer than anyone realized. And Mendeecees had known the worst. Malik's consequences were immediate. It appeared like everyone was picking sides and the fans were incensed. Some defended Mendeecees, claiming that she was merely attempting to protect her family and that she had every right to be furious. Others took Erica's side, accusing men in DC of taking advantage of both women and controlling them for years with no real repercussions. Then, when it appeared that the world was split, Mendeecees finally spoke up. However, his remarks just made matters worse. Mendeecees addressed the controversy in a video that was uploaded to his Instagram, but he came out as contemptuous and defensive rather than apologizing or making a sincere statement. His tone was flat. People don't understand what it's like, he added. I've made mistakes, but I've also tried to correct them. I'm not perfect, and neither are any of us. It's easy to pass judgment from the outside, but you don't know the whole story. The fans were furious. In addition to his acts, they felt deceived by his lack of responsibility. As if the whole event were something to be ignored, Mena appeared to avoid taking accountability. The conflict between Mendeecees, Mendeecees, and Erica was intensifying. Emotional responses were all over social media. While Erica's supporters continued to cheer her on for finally expressing her truth, Mendeecees' supporters strongly protected her. What would happen next, however, was still the true question. Erica didn't find the drama to be only about revealing the secret connection. It was about taking back the narrative that had been crafted for her, about taking back control of her life. In this case, she was more than just a victim. It was a woman who had assumed leadership. No matter how hard Yandi or Mendeecees attempted to conceal the truth, she was now resolved to make sure her child would not be removed from the narrative. Erica made a definite statement. "I'm not doing this for the likes, the comments, or the attention. I'm doing this for my son. He deserves the truth just like I do." Now comes the query was whether Mena and Yandandi would ultimately be held accountable for their deeds, or whether they would keep living in denial and attempting to maintain a picture-perfect family image while the fractures in their facade grew. The world was waiting to see what would happen next in this high-stakes play, and the suspense was tremendous. Mendeecees' video had immediate and harsh consequences. Those fans who had been undecided were now passionately picking sides. From a whispered rumor, the story had grown into a full-fledged media frenzy. Amidst all of this, Erica remained steadfast and unrepentant in her choice to reveal the truth. Even though she was receiving more support, she was now dealing with fresh difficulties. Everyone's most urgent question was straightforward. Would Yandi and Mendeecees ultimately tell the truth, or would they keep lying in the hopes that the controversy would pass? For Erica, the truth was no longer the only consideration. It was a matter of survival. The stakes were huge, she realized. In the realm of hip-hop, love was characterized by deception and betrayal. She had witnessed others experience it. She wasn't only an outsider, though, this time. She knew it would happen because she was at the center of the issue. Make her or break her. In one of her interviews, Erica stated, "I'm not afraid of them. I've been terrified of losing all my life. Losing regard, trust, and affection. However, I'm no longer doing that." She had changed from the innocent, optimistic woman who had first been on the scene all those years ago. No, she was a formidable opponent now, and those who attempted to undermine her would see how resilient she was. Mendeecees' silence, meanwhile, was growing intolerable. He didn't publish anything else after his original video. Not a single Instagram update, not a single tweet. He appeared to be hiding, looked for a way to control the mess he had made. However, it was becoming evident that people's regard for him was eroding the longer he remained silent. He is a coward. He messed up and now he's acting like he didn't. He can't even stand up and take accountability, a fan wrote in a tweet. The media couldn't help but feed the flames by writing on the unsolved drama all the time. One headline said, "Mendeecees still silent after affair revelation." If he truly loved Erica, he would stand up for his son, but instead he's hiding behind Yandi's skirts. The pressure on him only increased when fans demanded answers. Whether he wanted it or not, he had turned become the antagonist in this tale. Nevertheless, everyone was taken aback by Yandi's subsequent action amid all the confusion. Yandi went into damage control mode rather than confront Erica in public or speak to the media directly. She shared a number of images of Mendeecees, her family, and her kids on Instagram. Though ambiguous, the subtitles were intensely sentimental. "Family is the most important thing," one read. Another merely stated, "I'll fight for my family no matter what." Yandandi was obviously attempting to project a strong image. She was attempting to demonstrate that she was standing tall and defending her family in spite of everything that had been revealed. But the response from followers was everything but encouraging. Many interpreted it as an effort to avoid the truth and act as though nothing had occurred. There was a noticeable tension between Yandandi and Erica. One of her fans said, "How can you say family is everything when your husband betrayed you like this?" He betrayed you, Yandi. He betrayed both of you. And now you're acting like everything's spying. It was no longer merely an internal battle for NBC, the public. Media and fans were all watching, eager to see who would come forth first in this struggle for the truth. Would Yandi acknowledge being aware of the affair? Would males in DC finally own up to their mistakes? However, it was more than simply them. The other partnerships on the show were beginning to feel the effects of the scandal. Men's and Yandandi's friends started to turn away. While some continue to be loyal to Yandi, others are demonstrating support for Erica. Unsure of how to deal with the turmoil, Even the hip-hop and love producers found themselves in the middle. The topic of who knew what and when was brought up when the cast members sat together during a particularly contentious reunion show episode. The inquiry wasn't limited to Mendeecees or Erica. It was directed at everyone who had been involved in the incident, who had witnessed the rift in Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship, who had been aware that Erica and Mendeecees were involved, and, above all, who had been hiding the truth for the benefit of the show. As everyone waited for someone to speak, the room became quiet. Yandy avoided making eye contact with anyone, clearly anxious. The rumors had reached her ears. She was aware of what people were saying about her, but she refused to allow anyone to put her in a difficult situation. Yandy stated, "I don't mean to explain myself to anyone," in a stern yet quiet manner. Erica's voice seemed louder and more confident than ever as she continued. "What happens behind closed doors is between me and my husband. I've been through a lot, and I will keep fighting for my family." Turning to her, Erica murmured, "Yandy, you are aware of what took place. You are aware of Mendeecees' actions. Don't pretend you missed the warning flags. Don't pretend that this is all unexpected. I'm done keeping him safe. The time has come for you to confront reality." It was a heated exchange. Everyone in the room felt the weight of the situation, and the tension was palpable. However, just when it appeared like something would eventually, the cameras cut. Suspense was left to the fans. What would come next? Would Yandy admit the truth at last? Will Mendeecees take charge and put things right? Or would this agonizing tale end with Erica's revelation? The hush from Mendeecees became deafening in the weeks that followed. Yandy posted sentimental things, but he didn't reply. He didn't respond to Erica's ongoing disclosures. Rather, he just vanished from the public view, allowing followers to speculate as to whether Guy had lost everything or if he was simply waiting for the storm to pass. Yandy's silence was a powerful statement. She kept up her supporting wife persona by sharing posts about her family. But regardless of how many photos she shared of Mendeecees and their kids, it was becoming increasingly clear that their relationship was failing. And she wasn't going to back down, Erica. This was a war she had begun, and she was determined to see it through to the end. And Erica said, "I'm not leaving." This is also my story, and I am sharing it. One thing became evident as the days went by. No matter how much individuals tried to hide it, the truth always found a way to surface. The issue involving Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica Mena had reached a boiling point as tensions continued to build. The public was worn out. The supporters were upset. Furthermore, Yandy's and Mendeecees' silence was just making matters worse. However, what everyone appeared to overlook the fact that there was one last twist left. One final altercation that would either end the family's existence or start the protracted journey of reconciliation. There was no going back for Erica. The affair had previously been revealed by her. She had shown off the child. She had demonstrated to the world that Mendeecees' idealized portrayal of a family was not wholly accurate. However, the conflict had not ended. Exposing the truth was no longer the only goal. Regaining control over her life and story was the goal. Over the next few weeks, Erica remained resilient. She kept sharing updates on social media about her experience as a single mother, demonstrating her resilience and raising her baby with pride. Her supporters came together and never stopped encouraging her. However, Erica felt in her heart that she was fighting against more than Yandy and Men. She felt invisible and like a side character in someone else's drama, and it was against the entire system. Mendeecees' ongoing silence was also having an adverse effect. Both co-workers and admirers noticed his lack of social media activity. Some thought he was waiting for the appropriate opportunity to address the situation, while others conjectured that he was attempting to mend his relationship with Yandy behind closed doors. However much more time went by, it was becoming obvious that the harm had been done. Once supporting fans were now doubting his moral character. The gap that grew between him and his supporters was only widened by his failure to publicly accept responsibility. Yandy, however, was finding it difficult to uphold the reputation she had so diligently cultivated. Her posts about devotion, love, and family were beginning to seem phony. People became increasingly aware of the flaws in her marriage to Mendeecees the more she attempted to project the ideal wife. While some thought she was merely playing for the cameras, others questioned how long she would keep seeming like everything was all right. Then came the moment that had been anticipated by all. All of the animosity that had been building beneath the surface was released during an emotional reunion special on Love and Hip Hop. Realizing how serious the situation was, the host invited the group to address the elephant in the room. "You all need to speak your truth now." The audience was on the edge of their seats while the host said, "Mendeecees Erica, this has been a long and difficult journey for everyone involved, but it's time for closure. The public deserves to know where you all stand." The moment was electric, the anticipation hanging in the air, and for a brief moment, everything went quiet. Then, Mendeecees, who had been avoiding the cameras for weeks, stood up. His face was exhausted, his eyes desolate as he started talking. "I've made a lot of mistakes," Mendy said in a gruff voice, "and I didn't own up to it. I hurt a lot of people. I failed both of these women, and I wasn't the guy I was meant to be. I apologize, Yandandi and Erica. I should have been honest with you both from the start, but I tried to hide everything. I was selfish, and for that I sincerely apologize," he said after pausing to take a big breath. Although the apology was long overdue, it was a moment of clarity for everyone, and the real shock came when Yandandi spoke next. For weeks she had remained silent, allowing the drama to unfold around her, but this time she wasn't hiding. The audience was silent, with no cheers or applause, just the weight of Mendeecees' words hanging in the air. "It's not just about men's," Yandandi added, addressing the camera in a steady yet passionate voice. "It's about me. I've endured a lot, and I've let others believe they could dictate my narrative. I didn't want to be the bad guy, so I said nothing. I didn't want to share our private problems. However, it's time to quit acting. Let's stop defending the lies now." She looked directly at Mendeecees. "Both of us made mistakes. Furthermore, I'm not proud of the way I manage things. However, I'm not the only person who suffered because of this. It's not just me who had to face the repercussions. Both of us have been in a bubble. However, we must now confront reality." There was a lot of tension in the room. Yandandi and Menz each admitted their part in the mess they had made for the first time. However, it was insufficient. But there was more to say. Then Erica got to her feet. As though everyone realized that this was the moment that would change everything, the room became silent. Erica had been waiting for this moment, for the truth to be acknowledged, for the story to be turned around, for her suffering to be acknowledged at last. "Afraid of what would happen if the truth came out, I spent years hiding in the shadows," Erica remarked in a firm, unflinching voice. "I'm done hiding, though. I've had enough of acting. Everyone wants to know the truth. This is it," she said, turning to the men. "Just like you promised Yandi, you promised me, too. You assured me that we would be together. You promised to be there. But you ran when it was time to take charge. I was left to raise our child by myself. And I accomplished it without your assistance or backing." She glanced at Hugh and Yandi. "Nor were you the innocent party in this situation. You were aware. You were aware of what was happening. And you decided to say nothing. You made the decision to shield him, the reputation, and everything but the truth." Erica's remarks were shocking. There was silence in the room, everyone taking on the information they just heard. For many years, Yandandi and Mendeecees had presented themselves as the ideal pair, the embodiment of devotion and love. However, the fissures were now apparent. The facade broke down. Erica went on, "I'm not doing this for the drama. For my son, I'm doing this. He deserves to know the truth, which is why I'm taking this action. He is entitled to understand that his mother was never at fault. He deserves to know that he will always have someone standing up for him, no matter how chaotic life gets." The room erupted in cheers. There were those same as before. The formerly strictly regulated story about Mendeecees and his background has been upended. Additionally, Erica Mena's choice to come out has revealed a secret so profound that it has left fans, family, and the entire world in disarray. Relationships were strained and emotions were running high. And one of the most startling scandals in hip-hop and love history may suddenly revolve around a child. The harm has already been done, regardless of whether that blurred birth certificate is fully disclosed. Reputations and trust are damaged, are scarred, and fans are clamoring for answers that may never be provided. However, the questions remain. Will males from DC eventually come up and tell the real truth? Can Yandandi overlook such a significant betrayal? And what does Erica do next? Will there be more mayhem, or will she find closure? Hip-hop and love have been shown to bring the drama repeatedly, yet this time it feels deeper, more genuine, and different. It is now your turn to speak. What should I do?